Hurricane Sandy.
Hurricane Sandy.
Hurricane Sandy.
Hurricane Sandy.
We're looking at Category 1 hurricane.
The storm crashes outside and then silence. A power box explodes, the sky flashes green, and all of Manhattan goes dark. Streets that were full of cars and bright lights are now deep rivers like toys. In the busiest city in the world, millions of people stand at their windows, looking at a city they can't even recognize anymore. It's late October 2012. The Atlantic should be cooling by now, yet the water off the East Coast is strangely warm. Summer heat's still there where it doesn't belong. Meteorologists watch it nervously because warm water is fuel, and fuel means power. On their screens, a storm takes shape. At first, it looks like just another late-season hurricane churning far out in the Caribbean. Its name, Sandy. It doesn't seem unusual at first, but within days, something unusual appears. Sandy is growing wider, pulling in energy not only from the tropics, but also from a cold front sweeping down from Canada. It's not acting like a normal hurricane. It's changing into something different, something meteorologists call a hybrid storm, part hurricane, part nor'easter, and it's aimed directly at the most populated corridor in the United States. Yet on the ground, life carries on as if nothing is happening. In New Jersey, families rake autumn leaves into neat piles. In New York City, tourists crowd Times Square, taxis honk, Wall Street hums with business as usual. On Long Island, kids carve pumpkins for Halloween. Threat still feels distant, not real. But in weather offices, the tone is changing.
But we really didn't take it too seriously in the beginning because the scenario itself was very outlandish.
Forecast models show Sandy's path bending west, a rare, almost impossible turn toward land. One meteorologist shakes his head and mutters, "If this verifies, we're in trouble." Warnings go out. Storm surge, flooding, damaging winds. But people have heard that before. The Northeast is used to blizzards, nor'easters, and rainstorms. Hurricanes, those usually curve out to sea. Doubt runs deep. In small towns along the Jersey Shore, some residents begin filling sandbags, boarding up windows, pulling boats from the water. Gas stations see longer lines as cautious families top off their tanks. Hardware stores run low on batteries and flashlights, but just as many shrug it off. We've seen worse, some say. It'll blow past us. This split response plays out everywhere. In Hoboken, young professionals head to bars after work, joking about Frankenstorm. In Staten Island, homeowners drag plywood to their porches, while neighbors next door do nothing at all. On Long Beach, a woman stares at the rising tide and says, "It's just another storm. We'll ride it out." Still, nature keeps sending warnings. The wind sharpens, rattling windows. Clouds sweep in, heavy and unsettled. Along the coast, the surf grows angrier by the hour, waves slamming against seawalls and spraying salt mist onto boardwalks. Ferries across New York Harbor rock harder than usual. By October 27th, the first bands of rain spiral in. The forecasts grow more urgent. Meteorologists now predict record-breaking storm surge, walls of water pushed inland, higher than anything measured in many years. New York City officials issue evacuation orders for low-lying areas.
I'm also ordering that all of the city's public schools be closed on Monday. Now, first, as to the evacuation zone, let me stress that we are ordering this evacuation for the safety of the approximately 375,000 people who live in these areas. If you live in these areas, you should leave them this afternoon.
Shelters open. Transit authorities prepare to shut down subways and trains. For the first time ever, the New York Stock Exchange announces it may close due to weather. But even with those warnings, people are still divided. For every family loading their car to evacuate, another stays put, convinced it won't be as bad as the news makes it sound. "We've been through Irene last year," one Staten Island resident says. "This can't be worse than that." The contrast is clear. On one street, a father hammers plywood over his windows while his kids carry boxes to the car. Next door, his neighbor grills burgers in the backyard, laughing with friends as the wind bends the trees. Across the Hudson River in Manhattan, grocery stores sell out of water, batteries, and canned goods. But a few blocks away, bars stay open late, crowded with people insisting they'll wait out the storm. October 28th. The pressure drops. the storm grows huge, nearly 1,000 miles wide, covering the entire eastern seaboard on satellite images. Meteorologists issue serious warnings. This is not a typical storm. This is life-threatening. Take precautions now. Airlines cancel flights. Broadway theaters go dark. New York City orders the subway to close, something that has never happened before. The mayor stands at a podium and urges residents in evacuation zones to leave. This is serious. Please take it seriously. Still, millions remain in place.
More people will evacuate today. More, but not all.
Some can't afford to leave. Others refuse, clinging to routine, to denial. The lights of Manhattan glow as if nothing is wrong against the darkening sky. In coastal towns, waves already lap over seawalls, creeping onto streets. And then the waiting begins. People huddle in apartments and basements and shelters. Radios buzz with updates. Sandy is coming. The warnings sharpen into a single chilling message repeated across every channel. This storm will be unlike anything you've seen before. The quiet is ending. The slow burn of fear has become undeniable. The East Coast braces, though few truly understand what's about to arrive. October 29th, 2012. The day begins with a strange, restless energy. Clouds twist low in the sky, winds race through empty streets, and the Atlantic rises higher with every hour. By late afternoon, the storm is no longer approaching. It is here. Hurricane Sandy makes landfall near Atlantic City, New Jersey, but calling it just a hurricane doesn't capture what it is. Sandy has grown huge, nearly 1,000 miles wide, with winds stretching from the Carolinas to Maine. On satellite images, it looks less like a storm and more like an ocean swallowing the East Coast whole. The flow is its weapon. Driven inland by 80-mile-per-hour winds, the ocean pours across barrier islands and through city streets. In Atlantic City, boardwalks are ripped apart like toy blocks. Seawater crashes into casinos and hotels, flooding lobbies where just days before gamblers sat at slot machines. Along the Jersey shore, waves taller than houses strike seaside towns, smashing windows, breaking seawalls, and lifting entire homes from their bases. By evening, the storm sets its sights on New York City. The surge pushes into New York Harbor, meeting the rising tide at exactly the wrong moment. Water climbs, faster and higher than anyone predicted. In lower Manhattan, the Hudson River leaps its banks, rushing over the West Side Highway. On the East River, waves flood into streets, filling tunnels and subways. The city's vast transit system, the lifelines of New York, drowns in salt water in a matter of minutes. A power station on 14th Street explodes in a flash of green light, driving half of Manhattan into darkness. Millions watch as the skyline itself goes black. For the first time in memory, the city that never sleeps has fallen silent. Inside high-rise apartments, families light candles and gather near windows, staring at streets that have turned into rivers. The smell of seawater climbs up stairwells. Elevators stop working. For the next several days, residents will climb 20, 30, 40 flights of stairs with buckets of water carried by hand. In Staten Island, the ocean arrives like a freight train. Entire neighborhoods are swallowed in minutes. Families gather in hallways, holding each other as water fills their homes. Some escape through broken windows, pushing through chest-deep currents, holding children above their heads. Others never make it out. Later, rescuers will find cars piled on top of each other, houses shifted off their bases, and boats stranded in the middle of streets. Queens faces its own nightmare. In Breezy Point, a close coastal community, floodwaters rise, and then fire ignites. Fueled by broken gas lines and driven by 80-mile-per-hour winds, flames roar through the neighborhood, igniting wooden houses. Families who survived the surge now flee through knee-deep water as their community burns behind them. By the time it's over, more than 100 homes are gone. reduced to ash in the middle of a flood. Elsewhere in the city, hospitals face life or death decisions. At NYU Langone Medical Center, backup generators fail as floodwaters pour into basements. Lights flicker out in intensive care units. Doctors and nurses move quickly, carrying infants in their arms down dark stairwells, each baby kept alive by hand-pumped respirators. Ambulances wait outside in the storm, taking patients through flooded streets to other hospitals still standing. One nurse later says, "It felt like something out of a war zone, but we couldn't stop. We just kept moving." Everywhere, survival depends on quick action. In Hoboken, New Jersey, brownstone basements fill with water in minutes. Families gathered upstairs, grabbing flashlights. When the winds finally calm and the waters begin to pull back, the silence is almost unbearable. But it isn't peace, it's devastation revealed. In New Jersey, streets are no longer streets but rivers of sand and debris. Boats sit where cars once parked. Houses are cracked open like dollhouses, their walls ripped away, exposing living rooms and kitchens to the gray November sky. Families return carrying backpacks, the only belongings they could save, staring in disbelief at foundations where homes used to stand. In New York, subways remain underwater. Tunnels are filled with brackish seawater, rails twisted, electronics burned. It will take weeks just to pump the water and months to repair the damages. For now, the city's heartbeat, its transit system, has stopped. Millions face a new reality of walking miles, waiting for limited buses, or biking through darkened streets. Power outages spread misery even further. More than 8 million people across 17 states are left in the dark. In Lower Manhattan, high-rises remain silent tombs. Elderly residents trapped on upper floors tap on windows with flashlights, hoping someone will notice. Volunteers form lines carrying food, water, and batteries up endless stairwells. In the Rockaways, residents gather around barrel fires for warmth, bundled in blankets as nighttime temperatures dip toward freezing. The official response is massive but stretched too thin.
So this is going to be a long recovery, but we're going to get through it together.
National Guard troops roll into storm-stricken neighborhoods, clearing streets, delivering supplies, and evacuating the injured. FEMA sets up disaster recovery centers. The Red Cross and local churches distribute hot meals in parking lots, lines stretching for blocks. But even with help coming in, the need is overwhelming. Hospitals remain stretched thin. Doctors work in makeshift clinics, treating patients in school gyms and church basements. Fuel shortages add to the chaos. Cars line up for hours at the few gas stations still operating. People get angry. Chaos erupted. Police stand guard to keep order. In Hoboken, apartment residents open their doors to strangers caught in the flood. In Staten Island, volunteers comb the wreckage, pulling survivors from collapsed homes. In the Rockaways, firefighters who lost their own homes keep working, moving from street to street, knocking on doors, making sure no one is left behind. The scale of the disaster is staggering. Entire coastal communities like Union Beach, Ortley Beach, and Breezy Point are reduced to rubble. In total, more than 650,000 homes are damaged or destroyed. At least 159 people lose their lives in the United States, dozens more across the Caribbean and Canada. The financial toll climbs past $70 billion, making Sandy one of the costliest natural disasters in American history. Yet amid the loss, something else emerges. Across the region, strangers share food, clothing, even their homes. Volunteers arrive by the thousand. The phrase, "We are stronger than the storm," begins to echo, a call to action for rebuilding. Long after the waters recede and the debris is cleared, the memory of Hurricane Sandy lingers. For millions, it isn't just a storm in the history books, it's a dividing line. Life before Sandy, life after. The scars remain visible along the coast. In places like Ortley Beach and Staten Island, entire neighborhoods were rebuilt from the ground up, but others never returned. Empty lots still stand where families once gathered for summer barbecues. Communities that survived learned to live with a new, unshakable awareness of the ocean's power. New York and New Jersey invested billions into stronger seawalls, dune systems, and flood protection. The New York subway system added floodgates and barriers. reshaping how the city thinks about climate resilience. FEMA redrew flood maps, raising insurance rates and forcing thousands to elevate their homes or face the risk of losing them. But Sandy's legacy is more than steel and concrete. It sparked a reckoning with climate change. Scientists had long warned that rising seas and warming oceans would fuel stronger storms. Sandy made that threat real. The images of a darkened Manhattan, of Breezy Point burning in floodwater, of families stranded on rooftops, became warnings etched into collective memory. The storm also revealed the fragility of modern life. A city that never sleeps was brought to its knees by water and wind. In the age of technology, millions found themselves back in the dark, huddled around radios and candlelight. Yet, perhaps the most inspiring legacy is found in the stories of resilience. Volunteers from across the nation flooded in to help strangers. Communities leaned on one another, proving that solidarity can rise even when everything else falls. In Staten Island, neighbors who lost their homes still cooked for rescue crews. In the Rockaways, youth groups carried buckets of supplies up high-rise stairwells one step at a time. In these moments, the storm revealed not just destruction, but humanity's capacity to endure, to rebuild, and to hope. For those who lived through it, Sandy was a lesson written in salt water and wind. Nature will not be ignored. The sea is rising. Storms are changing. As the years pass, anniversaries of the storm bring reflection. Families gather to honor the lives lost. City officials remind residents of the importance of preparedness.
Full of hardworking people who really care about this, but we've got a lot of vulnerabilities in our infrastructure. We saw that in New York City. We've got hospitals that are prone to flooding and losing power, and that's scary. And we need to do a lot of planning around that. We need to do a lot of planning as a community. All of us have an investment to make in preparedness.
And across the country, Sandy stands as a warning, a reminder that what happened in 2012 could happen again, perhaps even worse. But there is also strength in memory. Out of devastation came resolve, innovation, and community. Sandy's story is not only one of destruction, but of rebuilding, resilience, and the unbreakable will to survive. Because in the end, the storm did not define the people. The people defined the recovery.